Alright folks, welcome to my Let's Play from Answer 3 Kingdoms 11. This is Mysterious JG. Been waiting kind of a long time, got like 12 some odd videos worth of preface material. But we're finally ready folks, we're finally ready to begin our conquest. As soon as I can find my controller. So let's watch the intro one more time. Might as well delay things even more. This is where you will start if you decide that you want to watch a Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11 Let's Play and you don't feel like watching a bunch of tutorials and officer creation. You start with a river or a waterfall. You start with Lu Bu using his water cannon attack he learned from Master Squirtle. And you've got Zhang Fei and Ma Chao riding around. I've described all this before, so give me a second here. I'm going to adjust my input channels while Diao Chan dances around like a beautiful butterfly princess person. Diao Chan is a hot chick. We are Cao Cao's cavalry, except that we look like we're going Guan Yu. Attack and slash and kill while the camera does a barrel roll. I never played with Star Fox and don't care about barrel rolls. Sorry, I completely lost the thread of the song there. But yeah, folks, it's Romance of 3 Kingdoms 11. This is Mysterious JG. This is the game in which we are going to lead the forces of Shu, sometimes known as Shu Han, in their efforts to restore the Han Empire and restore dignity and honor to the land. Let's do a quick walkthrough here of what's going to happen. I've got all my created, well, I have a walkthrough to do, but I've got all my created officers. I actually started recording a video of this the other day. I didn't get very far in before I found out my mic was working, so luckily I only lost about half an hour's worth of work. But, you guys know what scenario I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to do the 3 visits. September 207. Cao Cao defeated Yuan Shao and seized all of Nibei for himself. Fearing that he would turn to the south, Liu Biao sent Liu Bei to Jin Yi to prepare for a possible conflict. After Sun Tzu's sudden death, his successor, Sun Quan of Xiangdong, worked desperately with Zhou Yu and his other talented officers to bring his force together. Cao Cao's eventual expansion into the south was threatening to set off a storm throughout China. Okay, it's difficult for me to read those things because of, well, the text is just really small and fuzzy on the PS2 version. It doesn't really matter what I do with my TV. Excuse me, sorry, jeez. But anyway, yeah, I was all set up to go the other day. I even had a fortune cookie for my leftover Chinese food, but I read my fortune. The fortune is still around. I can still read that. It says, treasure what you have. Well, what I have is, half an hour's worth of footage that I can't use because my commentary didn't record properly. So let's get on with it here. I keep saying that. I'm not trying to use that as a catchphrase either. So I've got all those created officers I created earlier. I've also got a bunch of people that were unlocked created officers from defeating the little scenario missions, which are sort of short, contained battle scenes that you play out, and if you win, you unlock special characters. The special characters are people like Du Shi, who is like a historical figure, I suppose. I don't really know how to get information on their past. She has spousal support. She's like some figure who was not actually part of the Three Kingdoms era China for the most part, but they throw them into the game as like, you know, people that you can play as anyway. I don't know who any of them really are. So I've got all my own created officers. I'm not going to bother and weed out the other random officers, so I'm just going to select all. I'm going to take out the people that I know I made that I don't want to have in this game, which would include Amy Anderson. Ray's in there somewhere. Let's take her out. And then I should have Jamie McCrimmon in here somewhere. The Doctor and a Doctor Who kick after I was on that anime kick. And Zoe Harriet should be last. So I believe this is all the characters that I'm not including. So yeah, between the characters the game throws in, the only character I made for Let's Play, or for non-Let's Play purposes that's involved in this is Jing Tsai, because she was in Shu in the Dynasty Warriors game. Everyone else is either someone I unlocked that's part of the game itself, or someone like Mr. Sirius, whom I created for this LP. So let's get going. Now, create new force? No, because I am not going to put them all together in one force, although it might be interesting. And assign officers. I'm going to assign, and I warned you guys about this in the video where I explained how to apply, so don't get upset. You were warned. I'm assigning Jing Sai, however you say that. She's not really a particularly real... There's not a strong case to be made that she's a real character anyway. She is being assigned to Liu Bei's force right from the get-go, because it would be ridiculous to have her serving anywhere else. I created her specifically because she was the only Shu officer I noticed that was not in the game. And I already went through the fact that she's sort of in the game, but not really. So, yeah, I threw down Jing Kai. Everyone else is going to be just sort of left, randomly placed by the computer, and you could show up anywhere. And again, you know, there's like one guy who says he's descended from Zhuge Liang, he really wants to serve Shu. Them's the rules, buddy. Everybody's going to get thrown in there, and we'll see where you turn up. If you picked a bunch of liked officers from Shu, the odds are stronger that you'll end up Shu than anywhere else. So let's confirm. Now, there's different characters we could play as. Cao Cao, as you can see, is the blue. He already has by far the largest empire in China. He rules more. He doesn't rule half of China yet, but he definitely has more than any other two officers put together. As you can see, there is a little thing underneath right next to Cao Cao's name is the difficulty level when you're playing Sam. It's not the difficulty level of the scenario in general, it's the difficulty level to play as this ruler, and with Cao Cao this is easy. He's already done the hard work of taking out Yuan Shao and Lu Bu, and I think he was the one who defeated Yuan Shu. I don't really remember who took Yuan Shu down. And yeah, he's basically unified most of northern China. He's got this guy up here in the top right corner who's really no threat to him. He's got Ma Tang is going to give him, is going to try to give him a fight, but he's going to take out Ma Tang historically. And he's going to rule pretty much northern China until the Three Kingdoms period ends. You've got the Riverlands, Wu, or no, the Riverlands is Shu, Wu is the Southland. We got the Southland where they're singing songs about Southland. They basically hold this territory here until they fall, eventually. Because yes, folks, both Wei, Wu, and Shu have all fallen since the 280 China. Like, if you went to modern China, it is not divided up into Wei, Wu, and Shu anymore. We're going to play as Shu, or rather we're going to play as Liu Bei. And here is the rub, folks. Starting out here in Jinyi, Cao Cao is our mortal enemy. As you can see, we're right next to him, and he wants us dead, dead, dead. So what do we got to do? Well, I went on GameFAQs and asked people, hey, you know, in the sleeping, or the 3-visit scenario, I know that you've got to do the events necessary to get the super important strategist character for Shu, who basically becomes the hero of the novel after Liu Bei's death. In order to get him, there's special plot events that will trigger him joining your force. So are there plot events that will allow me to start, you know, forming Shu in the way that it actually happened in the novel? And I said, as I recall, Liu Biao, seen here, is your ally, but Liu Bei ends up taking over one of Liu Biao's cities without a fight. When Liu Biao dies and his sons sort of have a falling out, I remembered Liu Bei inheriting this city. I go on GameFAQs and people are like, what are you, retarded? You must be reading a different book from me because of my version, and then they explain what happens in the novel, which I hadn't read for a couple of years. I was like, well, boo-hoo, I'm so sorry. I'm a horrible person for not knowing the details. But anyway, what actually happens, folks, is that Liu Biao, your ally, who doesn't really help you. I mean, the allies in this game, all being allies means is that they don't really attack you. They tend to attack the people that you're fighting against. So having allies is a really good security thing, but you don't really get to call on them for help like you do in certain games. At least if you can, I haven't figured out how. So, yeah, he just kind of sits here, and in the novel, he dies. One of his sons is now in charge in Jiangyang and surrenders to Cao Cao, basically meaning that Liu Bei is screwed. But the other son, the one that's over here in Jiangjia, takes Liu Bei in. Liu Bei ends up ruling this city, and from here he conquers these little areas here to the south. Eventually he rolls in and takes over Liu Zhang's territory, and he basically establishes Shu. Like, this is Shu, for all intents and purposes. Now, eventually, in the long term, they get into conflict with Wu, which takes some of this land, but they're supposed to be friends with Wu, and there's this whole... You know, I'm not going to tell you the entire story of Three Kingdoms. So if you start here, you lose this city to Cao Cao, and during your retreat, when all seems hopeless and you don't have a city, you find safe haven here temporarily, and you use this place to kind of take over here and establish hegemony, whatever that word is. And this is your territory. Now, in this game, I can't really do that. There is no plot event where I'm going to get this city. The city is going to be ruled by Liu Biao. He's not going to die when he's supposed to in the book. He's going to, like, just die at some point pretty much randomly. And when he does, one of his sons will take over all 3 of these cities, and the computer will continue to treat it as one unified force. So I'm not going to get this city for free without a fight as I retreat from this city. And I have to take these cities over manually. I believe Liu Bei had to take over these cities one by one. I don't remember the details greatly, but yeah, I'm not just going to get the city and take over Shu without having to fight until I get to Liu Zhang's territory. That's just not going to happen. So in order for me to survive, I can either A, go on the offensive against Cao Cao, which you're really not supposed to be able to do, and it would be such a slow and piecemeal process that I don't think you'd find it that interesting anyway. I'd basically be weathering constant storms at the beginning, and eventually be able to claw my way in and take over cities like, Wan and Runan. So I can try to take over these 2 cities here. These are unoccupied cities. Shangyong and, this is Yong'an. What the hell is this? This is Yong'an, I think. So I can try to take over these cities and take over Shu from here. That's probably my best bet. I try to take over this city. I'm a little close to Cao Cao. Unless I take it over by boat, going up the river, I'm going to have to cross through Wei territory anyway, which will prompt them to attack. And this is supposed to be one of Cao Cao's cities. He's supposed to expand into here eventually. So if I take it over from the beginning, I'm kind of cutting off the natural expansion of Wei. But, that's not necessarily a problem, but, and like I said, I've got the dual goals of trying to make this interesting and trying to win, but also trying to kind of reflect what actually happened, at least to the point where I've got Shu established, and then I can go about attacking Wei in my own, wait for it, way. The other option I have is to just turn on Liu Biao as soon as I have the force to do it and take over these cities. This will actually come closer to replicating how Shu was formed, because I'll have this power base here and be able to use this to establish Shu, as opposed to getting all the way into here before I start, or trying to take over the landman cities or something like that. The problem is that would involve betraying Liu Biao, which is just not something Liu Bei did. It was a huge freaking deal when eventually Zhuge Liang and Pang Tong prevailed upon Liu Bei to take out Liu Zhang. Because Liu Bei was supposedly understood, intellectually speaking, that Liu Zhang was too weak of a ruler to defend this territory, and that leaving it in Liu Zhang's hand would ultimately mean that it would become Cao Cao's territory. It went against all of his virtues and principles and whatever to attack Liu Zhang, but he did it anyway, and he felt really bad about it, or at least the book kind of makes it out as though he felt really bad about it. So yeah, I get that I have to do that, but he never betrayed Liu Biao. And Liu Biao basically is the only reason at this point in the game, or the story, that he's not already dead at Cao Cao's hands, that Liu Biao sheltered him here. So, that is our dilemma, folks. How can we be virtuous and good and still take over China? The answer is, you can't. You gotta be at least a little bit of a bastard if you're gonna fight somebody who's as big of a bastard as Cao Cao is. But I'm talking, I haven't started playing yet, the video's almost halfway over, so it's really time to move on. But to sum up, my basic strategy is gonna be Jinyi, maybe try to take over this city as soon as I can, maybe try to take over this city. In theory, I should really not be holding these 2 cities. This city that I'm starting at and this city. I should have to pull back to behind, a little farther away from Cao Cao to really get things going. But probably by throwing up enough towers, we'll be able to hold this territory if I want to. But yeah, I'm going to take over Shu. I'm going to do my very best to maintain good relations with Wu. In past games where I played as Shu, I maintained good relations with Ma Teng. Cao Cao never really just put enough effort into taking out Ma Teng, and as I started really, hurting Wei by they just kept launching attack after attack and just kept destroying their troops. Ma Teng was actually eventually able to start going on the offensive against Cao Cao. I ended up in the last game, which I didn't quite bother to finish because I basically had it won. Ma Teng and I were the 2 largest forces on the map, with Cao Cao just about to go down, and Wu had become hostile against us, but was too weak to actually fight us off. It was kind of a weird game, but if this plays out the way that it really should, Wei's going to take out Ma Teng. Wei's also going to take out Han Zhong. We're going to take out all these other smaller rulers. And in the end, it's going to end up being us keeping good relations with Wu to fight against Wei. And when we defeat Wei, the game always turns the last two forces against each other. The game cannot end with two forces still on the map who have such strong ties that they decide to live in peace. No, somebody's got to conquer China, which means that Sun Quan will probably be the last to fall. Oh, but I haven't picked a force yet. Okay, a lot of talking, folks, but we're almost there. You are faced with the difficult task of fighting off Cao Cao's forces with the small city of Jinyi. You will need to mobilize all of your talented officers, such as Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhao Yun, and Zhu Shu, to fight Cao Cao. But there is a limit to how far you will be able to go against Cao Cao by yourself, so you will want to call upon your ally Liu Biao and your friend Ma Teng for aid. Continue fighting and never give up as you wait for the appearance of a sage who will be able to save you. Who could that be? But anyway, we're gonna go with the stuff I've already got selected, which is, you know, all this stuff is based on what happened in time. And we're gonna have death set to normal. High probability of officers dying? No, we don't want that. We don't want officers never dying during duels, so we'll just put it on normal. Sorcery and lightning are in the game, but I don't think we're going to see much of it. That was pretty much a yellow turban thing. And, yeah, let's start playing here. I've wasted enough time.
It was the year 207. The clouds of war hung over Jing province, which had long been living in peace. Having defeated Yuan Shao at Guandu, Cao Cao was now in control of northern China and had decided to invade the south.
The War of Northern Aggression.
In response to this move, Liu Biao gave control of his province to Liu Bei in order to prepare for Cao Cao's invasion. Meanwhile, in Jiangdong, Sun Quan and his general Zhou Yu were mustering an army in preparation for battle. As the various warlords made their preparations, Liu Bei was busy searching for someone who could stand up to Cao Cao. His army was filled with brave generals, but lacked a master strategist who could take advantage of it.
Who's the mysterious man with the feathered fan, folks? That's what I want to know. I want to know the secrets of this guy.
The turning point of this conflict was growing near.
Cao Cao is coming towards you to either poke you in the eyes or give you the iron claw. Before we begin, please let me briefly explain the circumstances of our force. First of all, I, Zhu Shu, am this force's strategist. Our current rival force is Cao Cao's army. In addition, we have formed an alliance with Liu Biao's army. We should make use of their military strength. I don't know how to do that, folks. As far as I know, you can't really call on them to do anything directly. It just affects who's going to attack you, and if their troops happen to be in the field when they run into Cao Cao's, that can be very much to your advantage. But then again, like when I was playing off camera as Cao Cao, and it's in a scenario in which Yuan Shu and Lu Bu and Liu Bei all wanted me dead, their forces had a tendency to run into each other on their way to attack my cities and attack each other. So they were all hostile towards me and they fight each other anyway. Anyway, let's go. You must remunerate the officers with gold. Revenue comes in monthly. You will also require food to maintain your armies, and this comes in every season. Be careful not to run into any shortages. If there is something you don't understand, press the select button to get some help. The last force to remain standing on the continent will become the supreme ruler of the next generation. Now that Cao Cao's forces have taken over Huabei, it's just a matter of time before they invade Jing province in earnest. We better hurry up and prepare our military for a decisive battle against them. Yep, that's basically where we're at. Now, I have a very slight advantage over where you should be starting this scenario, because I put Jing Tsai in this city. Jing Tsai being the Dynasty Warriors character who's supposed to be kind of a, cute little sex pot, but she's like, Zhang Fei's daughter, and I threw her in there. So, I'm a little bit strong. Like, if I was playing this scenario without any created officers, I would be one moderately good officer weaker than I am right now. Normally, my strategy from the beginning is start searching for officers immediately. I want to drain every free officer who's in this city, get them on my force. I do not want to do that now because the special strategist who's going to save our, bacon is in the city, and I can recruit them normally, but I want to do it using the plot event, so you guys can see the 3 visits plot events. Once that happens, I can start playing the game normally. The 2 things I just described, I'm not going to go searching for officers right away. I'm also not going to try and immediately take over... Where is it? This city over here, once I save up a decent amount of food, I can get a decent number of troops here. Theoretically, I could completely abandon my starting city and use that as my city from which I'm going to build up Shu, which will put Liu Biao between me and Cao Cao. It'll give me a certain amount of safety. It would be pretty much a betrayal of Liu Biao, not in the direct sense that I'm taking one of Liu Biao's cities, but Liu Biao put Liu Bei in this city, gave him this city so that he could build up defenses against Cao Cao. So I'd pretty much be poking him in the eye if I ditched the city and started building up my empire somewhere else. But the point is, I can't even do that until I do the 3 visits plot events, because I believe Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and Guan Yu all have to be in that city for that to trigger. I'm not positive, and I definitely want to get Liu Bei away from Cao Cao as fast as I can. So, now we've got more than 20 minutes of this 30-minute video has been taken up, and I have yet to take an action. Now this Let's Play can seriously begin. From here on out, folks, I will attempt to talk as I play. Alright, so I got 17 officers. I should have 16, but again, Jinkai. So let's start developing. I don't have enough action points to do very much here, folks. Alright, let me see here. I've got 10 pieces of free land. So if I had 3 markets and a mint, 1 granary and 3 farms, that would only leave me 2. That would leave me enough space for 1 barracks and 1 smith. And that's not that much, but money's not going to roll in very fast, and the food won't come in very fast if I've got less than that. So maybe I'll try to get by on 1 granary and 2 farms and have 2 barracks going. That might be a good bet. But I'm definitely going to need to have 3 markets and a mint, or I'm going to go bankrupt trying to keep this thing afloat. How many action points is going to take? 20. So this is basically going to be it. This is all I can do in this first turn. Can't even do inspections, because that takes up too many action points. So that's it for my first turn, folks. Start building a farm, start building a market. Isn't this game exciting? What will be your next move? My next move is I want you guys to get to work on more farms and more markets. I want my economy as strong as it possibly can be. I think I can afford to put off building the barracks until I've got all of that economy stuff going. I sure hope so. Gonna find out. Now you guys, do I really want you to start building something? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, might as well. You guys get to work on. Okay. And now it's time to end my turn again. The farm has been completed. The farm has been completed. Clanky! Alright, let's get that mint going. This will take about 40 days. Jingsai, for whatever reason, you're specializing in agriculture, so let's get you working on a granary. This is awesome, folks. She has Zhang Yang. I don't remember who he is, except that he's pretty important, I think. He's got Liu Bei, the ruler of Shu, her sworn father, uncle, whatever, and Jingsai, the cute-voiced girl, who actually has the highest overall poll rating out of all those officers. And for right now, I'm going to try and not build any more farms. We'll see how starved I am for food. But you guys suck at building. We've now hit the point where I've got officers who can start raising order in the city. In the city. Raising orders prevents, bandits and ruffians from appearing in your territory. I believe it also has some impact on how much gold and food you get per turn, so I like to keep it at 100 if I can. But, yeah, it's important not to let it slip down below about, 75 or 70. That's when you have chances of, like, actual bandit troops will appear on your territory and attack your facilities. But right now I don't have to worry about that so much. I have to worry about Cao Cao. folks. Feel chill. Please command us as you see fit. Command you guys to wrap up so you don't get a cold, buddy. You'll catch your death of cold out here in this weather. Same officers are the only ones who are available, so let's do more inspections while those other people continue going all winter long with their building of their facilities. But these are important facilities, and they don't build easily. We're also going to throw some gold out here. Get this guy. His loyalty is only 96. Probably do not really need to spend 200 gold to get his loyalty up, but I am in the habit of keeping everybody's loyalty at about 100. Thank you very much. You are so stupid. Thank you very much. End the turn. Do-do-do. Already got people in the Chengdu videos complaining I'm taking too long. Hadn't even started the LP yet, and they're telling me I'm taking too long, so I am making concerted effort to play this pretty quickly. Do I have officers free? Yes, I do. Okay. Get to work on... You guys can start working on barracks. 2 of the 5 Tiger Generals of Shu and Liu Bei's wife, ladies and gentlemen. That probably leaves us with just these 2. No, wait, I've got 3 people free now, but they're... I don't think these guys are going to be the hottest builders in the world. No, wait, they're not bad. They're not bad. Alright, well, let's get a smith going. Now, I've got a choice here between building, because I've decided I'm going to try to make do with 2 farms and a granary. I may decide that the food's coming in too slow and get rid of this next facility. So let's put the second barracks there. I'll put the smith down here. Now, I might decide that instead of having a second barracks, I want to have a stable so I get horses. But the thing is, yeah, you don't absolutely need cavalry, especially if you're not going to be going long distances. And these troops in this place are basically going to be trying to just hold the city against a lot of attacks. More inspections. There's no one who can take gold as a reward right now because everyone's loyalty is high enough. End the turn. I doubt we will be attacked in this first video, folks. Mostly because I did so much talking. Probably within a half an hour of gameplay, had I immediately jumped into the game itself, we would be attacked before the first video is over. But we've probably got enough time to actually, we're going to have enough time to build this place up a little bit, I hope. Free land. We've got 1 piece of free land left. We've got officers who ain't exactly setting the world on fire with their building talents, but what the hell else am I going to do with these guys while I'm trying to... Might as well get them started. Who's left? You guys... Do I want to bring order up to 100, or I'll start drilling the troops? That doesn't cost money. Again, folks, I don't know what drilling the troops does in Romance 4, which Grimmeth is currently LPing. Speaking of Grimmeth, I hope he and most of the rest of you folks end up in my force, because I could really use... with the exception of Mr. Sirius, I really hope he ends up in my force. It'll be a lot of fun to have him. He had such a horrible random number roll that he's basically, barely functioning as an adult. But the rest of you, I hope you end up in my army, because it seems like they came out really solid officers, and I'm going to need them. Let's end the turn. Now, Jinyi will continue to grow and prosper as something. Will grow and prosper. It will grow like Guan Ping's wee wee when he sees me. Sorry, that was really inappropriate. Okay. Now we've got no free land left, so we're done building facilities. I mean, they're not all built, but we can no longer spend each and every turn trying to build them. But I don't actually have... No, good grief. Well, I mean, diplomacy costs a lot of money. Let's, ceasefire? No. Good. I mean, I could start trying to bribe Cao Cao. I'm not gonna... Gold is not gonna come in quickly enough for me to maintain that strategy. Disrupt. Plot to make the prefects of viceroys declare no. If I get disrupt to work, how much gold does disrupt cost? 200. Oh, no, not disrupt. I want to try rumor. If I do rumors against Wan, Wan will be one of the cities that will be attacking me pretty early on in this whole thing. Cao Cao, or, yeah, no, nobody can pull it off, though, so forget it. Alright, well, inspections, just do some stuff to... Oh, I get to work with my daddy! Yeah, inspections and drilling Inspections cost money, but not a whole lot of money. These are just things to keep the TP points coming in when I don't have anything else to do. I irritated people by searching when I had action points to spare in the hopes I would find small amounts of gold. I can't. I like doing that. I'll probably do that despite your objections, but I can't do that until after the three visits event has got me my strategist, because if I find him, I'm going to completely screw up my game. But now we're at over 30 minutes, so let's I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's save our game. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a video so that I can have nice, you know, reasonably watchable half-hour chapters for this video. This LP, I should say. But yeah, I'm going to call it a video here, folks. On the next time on Let's Play Romance of Three Kingdoms 11, I basically guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, I am going to be attacked before 2 30-minute videos have completed. Cao Cao's forces are going to be coming for me soon. They're going to be coming for me pretty consistently. I need to make a decision pretty early on about how long I want to try to hold this city. So you will be there, folks, for that decision-making process in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, support your local Han. I'll see you next time.